I'm very, very curious on how this all went down. Here's Rob Pelinka talking about what exactly happened and how we got to this stage where Luka's a Los Angeles Laker. He kind of takes it from the beginning. Take a listen.
Yeah, so this all started with the coffee in Dallas where Nico approached us with the concept. And because there was a partnership and a history of travel in the world between Nico and myself working around Kobe Bryant, there was a fabric of trust in the discussions. And these type of deals are incredibly intricate and complicated. And along the way, we knew there would be 248 insurmountable snags to get to the end. And there were. And so over the course of, 3 weeks, call it, an issue would come up and we'd think there was no way to climb the mountain and we'd figure out a way. Then the next issue would come up and you just keep going and you stay committed to the work. You stay committed to trying to get the deal done in a partnership sense. I think a lot of people talk about negotiations in terms of who won and who lost. I try to approach a negotiation in the sense of how do we build a partnership where we can get to the end? And I think that was the lens that we worked and the premise we worked under. And when the concept was initially introduced to us, it was, hey, the only way we can even have these discussions was if it's between owner and GMs. And there was a commitment to that. And if we broke that commitment by talking to anyone else, this day would never happen. So I think trust was at the center of all those discussions. And I called Jeannie after the coffee in Dallas and brought her in immediately.
I'm going to stop everybody here for a quick second. God bless Rob Pelinka. Let's just be real with each other. If there's a win and a loss and, you want to have a partnership, I get it. I completely understand. You're competitive. It's basketball. It's this and all sports, all business, all that stuff. In a perfect world, there's a partnership where both sides win. Tell me who's saying that the Dallas Mavericks won this trade. Tell me who's sitting back right now and saying that, you know what, I think Dallas got exactly what they were looking for. This makes sense for them. This is going to really, really pay off. Pelinka might have the thought process of let's put together a good partnership. Yeah, this wasn't both sides won. It was not. Can you imagine what Rob Pelinka was thinking when Nico Harrison asked him, let's grab a cup of coffee, Lakers are in Dallas, and he sits down and says to him, hey, listen, I'm thinking I want to try to acquire Anthony Davis. Okay, tell me more. I'm thinking, maybe we could exchange Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. And Rob probably sit there if he's got a good poker face, and I'm sure he does. The guy's been in the business for a long time. He's been incredibly successful as an agent. Obviously, whether you like Rob or not, he just got Luka to the Los Angeles Lakers, so I don't want to hear anything about Rob. He's got to be sitting there and telling himself, like, what do I do here? How do I react? How do I pretend like my insides are not completely jumping for joy? Can you imagine when he picked up the phone? Let him explain it. But when he picked up the phone and called Jeannie Buss and said, Jeannie, this franchise is known for two things. They win championships and they acquire stars. Stars, the most powerful players in the history. I've heard people make this argument. Go take any great player that's ever played in the game versus any great player that's just played for the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm taking the Lakers roster. Go. You can have Michael Jordan. You could have Hakeem. You can have Larry Bird. You can have, go down the list. Have Wilt Chamberlain. Go down the list of all the greatest players that have ever played the game. Go see the players that have rocked the purple and gold. Jeannie had to have been sitting there and saying, a gift from God that Luka's available to the Los Angeles Lakers at 25 years old. All right, let's keep going.
As I do with everything, her and I have a really strong working relationship, and the fabric of that is that we share things in real time. And she was extraordinarily excited and hopeful that we could get to the end, which we were able to do.
Hey, Luka.
All right, stop it right there. There's another clip I'm going to play here in a little bit, but just that gives you a little bit of an idea of how this whole thing got started. It got started because the opportunity was in front of them based off of Nico Harrison of the Dallas Mavericks approaching Rob Pelinka. So just like Nico Harrison mentioned in his presser, this is how we got here. We got here because this was something that was initiated from the Dallas Mavericks, and then it was a matter of, Rob Pelinka to sit back. He did say, I can't remember if he said it there in a different clip, where he's talking about how they hit a ton of hurdles. They didn't know, were they going to be able to make it happen? Were they not going to be able to happen? You got to get a third team involved. They're trying to stay under the first apron. The Mavs are. Lakers are trying to stay under the second apron. I'm sure it was very complicated, but at the end of the day, I'm sure Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, whatever the hell it took to make it happen, if the opportunity included Luka, they were going to make it happen. Let me tell everybody something else that really, really stood out to me in this presser. One of the other things that really stood out to me was Luka's demeanor, Luka's energy, Luka's body language. Luka looked shocked. In a way, I know this is a little dramatic of a word, kind of looked sad, right? Like, he's going to try to say all the right things. I get to play for this franchise. It's a franchise. It's all about championships. Luka 3 days ago did not think he was going to be in LA and be a Los Angeles Laker. He looked, the word, the right way to put it, he looked heartbroken. That's what he looked like. Luka looked like he felt like he was in a great relationship. Things are going well. Yeah, we have some hiccups here and there. Sure, that's fine. They're in the process. They're close to getting married. And then just one day out of the blue, his girl calls him and says, I'm breaking this off. I don't want you to call me. I'm not even going to give you a full explanation why, but we're done. It's over. That's what Luka looks like. Now, I think there's probably Laker fans out there going to say, who cares? He's fine. He's this. I'm not telling you that the guy's not going to turn the page. What I'm telling you is that's the way I'm seeing Luka, is just in complete shock factor. I've been really, really wanting to try to get the right person to talk about this from a Dallas Mavericks perspective. Brad Townsend, who writes for the Dallas Morning Star. I'm going to play a clip here of his question to Luka, and I really wanted a Mavs perspective, and I'm going to get Brad on the show. I was trying to coordinate it today, but I couldn't do it, or he couldn't do it just because, obviously he's busy writing. Next day or two, or hopefully by the end of this week, I can get him on, because I would really, really love to hear from a Mavs perspective just what they're feeling, how they're feeling, what the hell just happened, all that stuff. There was a lot of chatter about Luka, his conditioning. Who knows what was going to happen in the offseason? Did he have it in his mind to leave the Mavs? Maybe the Dallas Mavericks are jumping on this early because they don't think Luka wants to be there long term. Take a listen to the question. Brad Townsend, Dallas Morning Star. Take a listen to Luka's reaction to the question in regards to his time with the Mavs and his relationship with the front office.
Dallas Morning News. So you wrote a Dear Dallas letter to fans. It was, very heartfelt. And you talked a little bit about, your shock. How are your feelings toward the upper levels of the organization, Nico in particular, or the decision to trade you?
Well, that's their decision. So I have no comment on that. They made the decision. I don't know why. But that's their decision. So I can't do nothing about it.
And then one of the reasons that was given was that there was concern that, beyond this summer, or that there's a chance you might not agree to the Supermax extension. Did you or anyone on your inner circle indicate that might be the case?
Absolutely not. It's easy.
Luka.
Absolutely not. Easy answer. Yeah, I got to tell you guys here. I don't know what Dallas just did. I got no idea what the Mavs just did. I mean, the Lakers are obviously 100% going to fully capitalize on whatever Nico Harrison was thinking. But can you see Luka's body language? Can you see him saying, the question's perfect from Brad, and that's going to be Brad Townsend's job. He writes for Dallas, for the Dallas Morning Star. He's trying to address Mavs fans specifically, and those who are following the Dallas Mavericks, did Luka make it look like he didn't want to be a Mav? Because here were some of the reports that were out there. There were two things. Number one, his conditioning, how committed is he? Doesn't get his body right, which is what's dealing to some of these calf injuries. And the other one was, hey, we're going to probably run into some problems come a little bit later because of his contract and potential contract negotiation down the road in the summer, everything else. Guys, is Luka not telling you exactly how he felt about that Mavericks organization and playing in Dallas? And the Lakers are just basically the beneficiary of a franchise that completely botched what to do with their superstar. Luka's top 3 in the league at 25. You just don't trade people that have his talent, have his upside, are only 25 years old, are an international superstar. And oh, by the way, they just got to the NBA Finals 7-8 months ago. That's unheard of. And I think it helps to have some clarification as well from, Luka basically saying, now Luka can do whatever he wants at this point. Can he be bullshitting? Sure, he can be. I don't think he is, but Luka's in a position now where he can kind of do no wrong with Dallas. He can send out, an apology for not winning a championship. I thought I was going to play here. I thought I was going to retire. He can do all that now. He can say there was no discussion about, me not signing a supermax or any of that stuff. That never even crossed my. He could do all that now, and he could be bullshitting. I just happen to believe him. That's one person's opinion. I think the fallout of all this will become more and more interesting as we go on. I think the fallout of this is trying to get more details of what happened here. I think, if you're somebody that follows the Dallas Mavericks or you're a big NBA fan, now let's just use Mavs fans here for a quick second. You do not feel better about today because you got a chance to hear from Luka for the first time. You got to feel worse. You probably feel worse today than you did when you found out on Saturday night that he's no longer going to be a Dallas Maverick. So just really, really fascinating stuff to get a chance to hear from Luka, get a chance to hear from Rob Pelinka of just kind of how this all kind of unfolded. And yeah, so I wanted to take a quick second there to obviously highlight all that stuff and get into it from that perspective. All right, let's start looking at some of your guys' thoughts, comments, questions, and then the next topic that I'm going to start getting into is what we think the Lakers are going to do between now and Thursday, because there were definitely some signs today that doesn't give me all that much hope that there's going to be a lot of changes to the Lakers roster. So I think that's something that we can look at as well. All right, if you enjoyed this clip and you want more, just subscribe to the channel. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. is the Sliwa Show. And then after every Lakers game, post-game show right here.